only game show is 3 dimensions away from Sea of Thieves being called Pirates Online. I'm your host 3D Jake, and today we're looking at Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is a game that was released, I believe, in like 2018 or 2017, but was like released on a PS5 recently in 2024. The game is essentially developed by Rare Studios, and it used to be exclusively to the Xbox. And it was basically like Rare Studio came up with the concept of the game and everything, but then Microsoft published the game fully. And the game essentially is like a pirate MMO. And so essentially you play as a pirate, and basically you create you customize your own pirate, and then you go out on the sea, and basically you fight other players and pirate battles, and they can sink your ship and kill you, and then you lose everything, go to JB Jones' locker and have to get back out and find your equipment if it's still there, and all this other stuff. So essentially, this game is basically that. It's an MMO, so if that's what you're not expecting. I will say, I do really like this game. I mean, you've heard my rant on Skull and Bones. This game is not Skull and Bones at all. Like, this game is a very much a better version of Skull and Bones. Like, Skull and Bones is basically, like I've said, it's World of Tanks but with pirate ships. This game is not World of Tanks but with pirate ships. This game is essentially a video game where you basically are on, like, you're basically on a pirate ship. You can sail around the seven seas, swim underwater, try to look for treasure, go to different places. I will say that it is much harder to dock than it is like other games. It really is, like, it feels like the closest thing to an open world pirate simulator game we have. And that is a good thing. I will say this game is not perfect, but I will say my positives first. I do really think it has a beautiful score. I think it, like, even though I know some people can criticize, like, it looks like Fortnite, I will say the graphics are very good. I think the sea looks great. Everything really looks great. Attention to detail is perfect in the game, and I really enjoy it. It feels like I'm actually living out a pirate fantasy. Like, I know Black Flag is essentially the gold tier pirate game, but this is really, really close behind, because this game is essentially the closest thing to a Pirates of the Caribbean open world game we'll ever get, next to Skull and Bone, a Sea of Thieves. I'm so sorry, Sea of Thieves. I am so sorry, Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Skull and Bones, I should never ever say that again. I'm so sorry. But this game is so close. Like, this game is so close. Like, it is, like, I've been playing this game for hours and just enjoying it and everything. And it does feel like, I will say that there are a couple things I had issues with. Like, first off, I had an issue with the game. Essentially, if you get a big pirate ship, like the big pirate ship you see in the movies and stuff, you essentially are going to have to man that with multiple people, like, in the game. Like, you're going to have to work together to, like, you're going to need a crew. Essentially, the game does rely on, it's not like, oh, you can just do NPCs. No, you need an actual crew to pirate this game, or else you are literally going to be screwed, because when you sell that ship, you cannot see. Like, you're basically, I literally made that mistake of, like, driving the pirate ship blind and hit rocks, and then, the lower deck was sinking, and I had to board it up, and it's still water, and I was like, oh man, and, like, this game does rely on, you need a crew. You 100% need a crew. Unless you want to do, like, they have, like, 3 different tiers of boats. I would say the first boat is essentially like a one tier. You don't need a crew. But the only thing is, the bigger ships are faster, so essentially you're gonna, basically, it's a give and take situation where you're gonna need it because you have more stuff in that big ship. You'll have more to do. You can collect stuff and everything else, and so you really need the ship, essentially the bigger ship, compared to the little ship, because the little ship is not that at all. Like, the little ship, you can see everything, but, like, you can't get away from pirates, and people can just easily just use, and the sails essentially speed up the ship. I will say also, I did not like that the game is first person. I wish I would have known that first, but because I was playing, and I'm like, wow, there's no third person at all. And I'm like, and they have the audacity to put character customization, and I'm like, this is literally, you only see the hands. That's all you see is hands. I'm like, then why do you have pirate customization? And then they had one of my greatest franchises of all time, one of my favorite franchises, Pirates of the Caribbean skins. And, like, this is and that's another thing that irked me. Okay, I was so excited ever since I heard Jack Sparrow, and there was a quest line with Jack Sparrow. So it's not just like, you're paying for skins of Jack Sparrow. Like, you're getting a quest line with him, and, like, when you buy, like, certain, like, there are certain bundles you can buy. Like, for instance, there's a bundle where you can buy everything, which is what I bought, which is like $100, like $100 US for like the whole bundle, or you can buy like a $40 bundle or so, or if you just want to buy separate things. Like there's like because there's like three different big tiers. There's like like the Barbossa ship from like at World on Stranger not on Stranger Tides, but like Dead Man Tell No Tales. Then there's like Davy Jones's ship from the first two parts for the second, third parts of the Caribbean movies, who in which, but and then there's the Black Pearl. And essentially, what it is when you go to ship customization, you customize the ship to look like your ship. So essentially, if you want to look like the Black Pearl, you essentially go to ship customization and everything, and then customize it. But like it's weird because you have to go to like up to your ship customizer, and then it's like hanging around a chest around that area. So you have to find it and then customize it to your ship. And I had to watch a YouTube video how to figure that out because I'm like, I bought this shit. Like, where is it at? Like, I bought all the clothing and all the things. By the way, when you buy like the clothing, I think is like the more cheaper gag than it is like the ship. The ship is actually I think worth it because you're getting attention to detail of the Black Pearl. Like I'm like you feel like I'm on the Black Pearl. Like I'm walking, and then there's even like the fog Black Pearl, like where you're just like in the fog when you're just driving your ship around, which is really cool. Then you have Davy Jones's ship, and then you have Barbossa's ship, and it really does feel like this is really cool. I mean, it doesn't look. I will say, it just looks like a regular ship from the interiors. Like it doesn't look like this is like because I mean it's a pirate ship. But I will say when you kind of like you're walking around like the deck from it does feel like the decks from the movies. Like this looks like the deck from the movies, and this is so cool. And I really thought that was really cool, like driving around the Black Pearl, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is so cool. And then you just play that Hans Zimmer score, and just like, oh yeah. I'm like, I feel like Jack Sparrow now. And I do think it is cool that you can dress like Jack Sparrow, even though you like your character customization, you look nothing like Jack Sparrow. Like they kind of make this game where you cannot, and I kind of wish they would have made it where you get a Jack Sparrow avatar in a sense where like automatically it gives you that choice of like you can keep this facial creation or you can use a Jack Sparrow one. Instead, they do give you an option of where if you want the mustache or not. Like that you want to wear the Jack Sparrow facial hair or not. It's like you have that option too. So there's that. I will say I went with Jack Sparrow, and you did have to buy the eyeliner to make the Jack Sparrow appearance look good, but I'm like, it was worth it. Like, and you have his sword, you have his guns and everything, and really attention to detail, especially Davy Jones, not so much. Like, they just gave you Davy Jones's beard and like his outfit and like the little peg leg and crab leg, whatever, and then of course. Like the ship looks okay, and Barbossa. I would say Barbossa's ship looks the coolest out of all three, but like this is like it does feel like you're living in the pirate simulator, and I really think that's really cool. I just kind of wish it was third person where you get to enjoy your character creation more, especially if you just go and buy outfits because there's a lot of outfits. There's a pirate emporium where you got to spend like a shitload of gold to get those outfits. This isn't like cheap either. This is like a lot of gold you have to spend. Like spending dollars, like it was $100 for this whole entire emporium, like for that whole Pirates of the Caribbean Pirates Life bundle, and I'm like, that was so ridiculous. Thank God the game was $40. If you just want like the standard version of the game with like minimum for on PlayStation 5, $40, which is it's worth. I will say that's a great deal because this game could easily be $60 because it's a big game. But I think because it's an MMO, they're like, well, we're not going to charge you $40. But there is private servers, which the private servers is what I've been doing. Is where I've been like driving the ship around. It does feel empty compared to if you play online. But if you play online, there's a given give and take about the game where essentially when you're playing like people can come and just fuck you up. So this is like private mode is essentially like private servers is essentially where like it's like in Grand Theft Auto like the passive mode, like where nobody can mess with you. It's like there's no one else in the server, you're on your own, compared to if you're just like out there, hey guys, boom 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 boom, because that's gonna happen because there are toxic players out there. But like I will say, this is also great. The combat in the game is okay, I guess. Like it does feel more like a closer to a family game, so it's not like brutal. Like it's not like blood, guts, everything else. Like it's just like someone attacks you. It almost feels like you're playing like a Wii game, like just like it's that kind of dumb. But I mean, it's a fun experience, especially when people are trying to trash talk you and everything. It's funny. And like you does like like it's hard to sell the shit. Like this, I'm gonna say if you play this game and you do not want to sell. I will say the quests though I will say are fun. Like the quests are really fun. It leads you to different quests in the game. So like there's a cool Jack Sparrow. It feels like you're like it goes you through a little bit of the like a quest within the movie world and essentially, and I think that's really cool. And with the other there are other quests out there, like there's even characters that aren't Pirates of the Caribbean that feel like they were inspired loosely. Like there's like a woman that was kind of like Calypso from Pirates of the Caribbean that has nothing to do with the Jack Sparrow quest at all. That she's just there, and I feel like okay, they're just taking ideas from those Pirates of the Caribbean movies now because like there's a character that looks like Calypso. There's a character that's kind of like Black, that's kind of like Blackbeard from Pirates of the Caribbean. Even though that Blackbeard was a real pirate, and like, but like essentially, I'm just looking at like that kind of reminds me of the actor though, like the way he's modeled and the way ideas are around. Like he kind of looks like the one from the movies though, And then there's like a couple things that I'm like, okay, that's from Pirates of the Caribbean. That's not inspired, and this is not in the quest. The things certain things I saw in this game that is not in the Pirates Life quest at all. That literally, I was like, okay, that's not supposed to be there, unless they just added it and just said, hey, you know what? Since we added Pirates Life, we added those two. If that's the case, bravo. But if that's not the case, Disney going to come knocking. Which again, I mean, Disney gave the rights, but still. This is a fun game. I had to highly recommend it. If you really like Pirates of the Caribbean movies, and if you have an Xbox or a PS5, I highly recommend you buying this game and playing it for yourself. If you really like these characters, the Pirates of the Caribbean movie characters, you're gonna spend $100 to play if you want all of them, or if you just want bundle. There is different bundles. Like there's a ship bundle if you just want the ship. There is like a bundle if you just want Jack Sparrow's outfit. There's a bundle if you just want just the Black Pearl Jack Sparrow's outfit, and that's it. There's also there's some bundles like the whole bundle also come with like the crew outfit like Mr. Gibbs and other things like the pirate parrot and the monkey named Jack and essentially stuff like that. And you get guns and all that stuff like that too. But yeah, that's what I'm just saying. But that's if you're really interested in this world of Pirates of the Caribbean. Also, or if you just want to just sail around on a pirate ship and be toxic, you have that option too. Or if you just want to basically just sail around in the pirate ship without having to pay no money after you just pay $40, you have that option too. But if I had to give this game a grade, I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. Thank you so much. Tick, 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 tick.